You know that feeling when everything seems fine on the surface but deep down, something's been rotting for years? That's how my life felt until that rainy Tuesday evening when my parents sat me down and changed everything. My name is Alex Thompson. I'm 34 now, but this story really starts way before that. I grew up in a small town outside the city. Quiet streets, picket fences, the kind of place where everyone knows your business. My parents, Margaret and Robert, were hard-working people. Dad fixed cars at his own shop. Mom worked part-time at the library. They weren't rich, but they got by. And they had 2 sons. Me, the older one by 4 years, and Ryan, the baby who could do no wrong. From the moment Ryan was born, the dynamic shifted. I remember being 6 years old, standing in the hospital room, holding my new brother for the first time. Everyone cooed over him. How perfect, how cute. I smiled because that's what big brothers do. But even then, I noticed the way Mom's eyes lit up brighter for him. How Dad spent extra time rocking him to sleep. I told myself it was normal. Babies need more attention. By the time I was 10, it wasn't just attention. It was everything. Ryan wanted the new bike. Mine got handed down even though it was barely used. Ryan cried about soccer camp. They found the money. I wanted to join the school band. We can't afford extras right now, Alex. Be reasonable. Reasonable. That word followed me like a shadow. I became the fixer. When Dad's shop had a slow month, I mowed lawns at 12 to help with bills. When Ryan broke Mom's favorite vase and blamed the cat, I took the scolding so he wouldn't cry. I told myself it was love. Family helps family. But looking back, it was training. Training me to give without asking, to stay quiet when it hurt. High school was more of the same. I got straight A's, worked part-time at the grocery store, saved every penny. Ryan partied, skipped classes, got into minor trouble. Nothing major, but enough that parents rushed to smooth it over. He's just young, they'd say. He'll grow out of it. I graduated with honors, got a scholarship to community college for business, worked 2 jobs to cover what the scholarship didn't. Ryan barely finished high school, then bounced between jobs. And still they poured into him. New phone when he lost his. Car when he wrecked the old one. He needs a fresh start, Mom would say. I smiled and nodded. Inside, something started to crack. Fast forward to 5 years ago. I'd been grinding. Real estate courses at night, sales job by day, living cheap in a tiny apartment. I saved, invested wisely, avoided debt. Finally, I bought my house. A modest 3-bedroom on a quiet street. Nothing fancy but mine. Paid cash down payment from years of sacrifice. The day I got the keys, I invited my parents over. Mom hugged me tight. We're so proud, Alex. You did this all on your own. Dad shook my hand, eyes misty. Good job, son. Ryan was there too, grinning. Nice place. Bro room for me if I ever need it? We laughed. It was a joke. Or so I thought. That house became my sanctuary. I fixed it up slowly, new paint, hardwood floors, a small garden out back. It was proof I could build something stable in a world that always felt unsteady. I imagined one day raising a family there. Maybe meeting someone who valued the same things. But life kept me single, focused. Work, home, repeat. Then the calls started. Subtle at first. How's the house? Plenty of space for visitors? Ryan's fiancée is pregnant, exciting, right? I was happy for him. Truly. But the hints grew heavier. It wasn't one big fight. It was death by 1,000 cuts. First came the visits. Unannounced. Mom with casseroles, Dad with tools to help fix that leaky faucet. Ryan tagging along, looking around like he was measuring rooms. This backyard would be perfect for the baby, he'd say casually. I'd laugh it off. Yeah, someday. Then the conversations turned pointed. Over Sunday dinner at their place. Alex, you're doing so well. Single, no kids. Must be nice having all that freedom. Translation. You don't need the space. I started dodging invites. Work excuses. They pushed harder. Phone calls from Mom. Ryan's having a tough time at his job again. The apartment's too small now with the baby coming. Dad chimed in. Family helps family, son. You know that. I felt the guilt creep in, the old training kicking back. But this time something fought it. This house was mine. Earned a loan. No loans from them, no cosigns. Why should I give it up? The pressure peaked on that Tuesday. Rain pounding the windows. They showed up at my door, both looking serious. Mom carried a folder. Dad stood behind her like backup. We sat at my kitchen table, the same table where I'd eaten alone so many nights. Mom opened the folder. A quitclaim deed. Pre-filled. My name as grantor, Ryan as grantee. Sign this, Alex, Mom said softly. Ryan needs stability. A real home for his family. You're strong, you'll be fine. You always are. Dad added. It's not like you're using all the rooms. Be reasonable. Reasonable. There it was again. I stared at the paper. My hands shook. Not from fear, but from the rage boiling under my skin. Years flashed before me. The bike, the camp, the endless bailouts. The pride they showed me once, now redirected. I need time to think, I said quietly. They left looking hopeful, like the deal was done. That night I didn't sleep. I paced. I cried quiet, angry tears. Then I got to work. I started with basics. Called a lawyer friend from college. Off the record over coffee. Quitclaim deed transfers ownership fast, he explained. But it's revocable only if fraud or duress is proven. And recording it makes it official. I asked about errors. He smiled. Tiny mistakes like wrong legal description can stall recording. County clerks catch them sometimes. I looked at their copy. Parcel number off by 1 digit. Sloppy but useful. Next, asset protection. I had a home equity line I barely touched. I quietly moved funds, set up a revocable trust naming myself beneficiary, updated insurance, started documenting, saved texts, recorded calls, one-party consent state. Every you owe us. Every Ryan needs it more. I researched stories online, forums, Reddit threads. People in my shoes. Some gave in, regretted forever. Others fought back quietly. I chose quiet. Weeks passed. I acted normal. Visited them. Smiled at Ryan's ultrasound photos. Excited for you, man. Inside I planned. Section 4. The signing, letting them think they won. 10-minute. We met at the notary public. Neutral ground. Mom nervous, Dad stern, Ryan absent, he's too emotional. Mom said that I read the faulty deed. Said nothing. Signed. They beamed. Mom hugged me. Thank you, son. This means everything. I walked out feeling strangely calm. The trap was set. Ryan moved in 2 weeks later. Furniture trucks. Baby stuff everywhere. Parents helped unpack, proud as ever. I rented a small apartment nearby, cheap, furnished. Watched from afar. Section 5. The cracks appear. Chaos unfolds. 15-18-minute. 3 months in, problem started. Ryan partied, loud music, late nights. Neighbors complained. Utilities in my name. I hadn't fully transferred. Bills piled. Parents called me. Help Ryan. He's overwhelmed. It's his house now, I said calmly. Silence. Then anger. You signed it. But did I? The county flagged the deed error. Transfer invalid. Ryan couldn't refinance, couldn't sell, stuck paying mortgage he couldn't afford. He'd quit his job, assuming easy street. Parents panicked. Called daily. Fix this, Alex. I listened. Remembered every time they chose him. First confrontation. At their house. Mom crying. Dad yelling. How could you sabotage your brother? I laid it out slowly. Childhood memories. Sacrifices. You taught me family helps family. But it was one way. Always. They denied favoritism. We loved you both. Then why was I always the one giving? Ryan arrived. Pale. Bro, I didn't know it was this bad. You never asked. Second, at my old house. Ryan begging. I can't afford this. Help me. Pay back what I lent over the years. With interest. And apologize for real. He hesitated. Left angry. Third, parents alone. Mom broke down. We were wrong. We see it now. Dad quiet. We thought you'd always be okay. I was. Until you tried to take what I built. Section 7. The deal and slow justice, 10-minute. I offered terms. Fix the deed if Ryan repaid loans. $45,000 total. Documented. Parents admitted favoritism in writing for my peace, not legal. Counseling if they wanted relationship. They agreed. Payments started slow but steady. Apologies came awkward, tearful. Ryan got a job. Matured a bit that I kept the house. Rented it out eventually. Moved back when ready. Section 8. Resolution, reflection and moral, 12-15 minute. Years later, things aren't perfect. Holidays are civil. Ryan's family visits respectful now. Parents call more to ask how I am, not what I can do. I forgave. Not because they deserved it, but because carrying hate was heavier than the house ever was. The lesson? Family isn't blind obligation. Love shouldn't feel like a debt you can never repay. Protect your worth. Sometimes quietly. Sometimes with a plan. If you're the one always giving, always reasonable, stop. Your future isn't negotiable. Stand up. Even if it's silent at first. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers until the truth can't be ignored. Thank you for listening this far. If this hit home, drop a like. Share your story in comments. Subscribe for more tales of betrayal, strength, and quiet revenge. You deserve better. Always.